guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Grid. I'm here with Gage from Solstice Solar, an energy consultant, and we're here at his house actually checking out his EG4 system. Gage, thanks for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. This is beautiful, man. I know we talked a couple of times just via email getting all this set up, and just for you guys out there, I kind of got tired of sitting in the studio all day. And so I reached out to some of our regional sales reps and said, hey guys, who's a good installer, has a system, looks amazing, works the way it's intended to, and everybody said, go talk to Gage. So I called you, we got on the phone, we sent some emails back and forth, I got some pictures, this looks fantastic. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on here.
So behind us, obviously I've got two FlexBoss 21s and then 4 of the new 314 amp hour batteries. It is AC coupled at the moment with 49 in-phase microinverters on my roof.
Okay.
And I've got 14 additional panels that I think I'm going to add and DC couple those into the system.
Okay, and what's your timeline on the addition, you think? I know you said you have the panels already.
I have the panels. Now it's just a matter of finding time in our calendar to get the installers out here.
Okay.
You know, obviously clients are first and employees are second. So.
That's no fun. So something I do want to talk to you, I know we had a little opportunity before we started filming. What is your first quarter kind of look like? I know I talked about kind of how EG4 looked. We were really, really slow. Sales weren't as much as we had projected or hoped for. We've seen an increase in the last couple of weeks. Kind of wanted to get your feel for what Houston's doing. Sorry, guys, we're in Houston, Texas, by the way. Not up in Sulphur Springs like normal, but what are you seeing kind of as the industry right now? Is it growing? Is it kind of maintaining its current position?
I think it was really slow, obviously, the first quarter. Right? Slower than previous first quarters. And I was worried, personally, just because it's never been that slow for me.
Sure.
And then the last couple of weeks, it's really started to kind of ramp up. Homeowners here in Houston are understanding the challenges that we face with the grid and owning power and wanting backup power. And even with the tax credits that are gone, they're looking at ways to where they can own their systems, own their power, and not have to worry about it. So things are absolutely starting to pick up. We're getting very busy, busier than I've ever been, actually, which is really exciting. That
is exciting. I know we had a pretty slow first quarter. We saw a lot of growth, I would say, probably mid-March through the end of March, through the end of Q1. You know, we just got into Q2, so I haven't really seen any numbers yet, but I project that we're going to probably double our Q1. Q2 will be that good. And I think come Q3, I think the industry is really going to balance out. We're going to see a lot of that, like the dust settle, I guess you could say, in the industry. And we'll start to see those sales pick up. We'll start to see a lot more VPP programs come to market. TPO, I know EG4's got some big news coming in that I can't talk about, but you guys will see a press release soon. So something else, what's your primary focus? What do you guys normally install? How did you get involved with EG4? I know we talked about it, but you know, for everybody out there, would love to know.
Yeah, so one thing that you'll learn about me is I'm a full transparent guy, right? I'm not the typical energy consultant or sales guy that's trying to get you to sign anything. Very transparent and open to see what works best on a homeowner's house, right? Because every house is different.
Absolutely.
So what we've primarily sold in the past, right? Tesla, Franklin, Enphase, a little Anchor. I was at a previous job, previous employer, learned a little bit about EG4, kind of pushed it off, and then more and more homeowners were starting to ask about it, so I had no choice but to look into it, which led me down a path to a very large installation down with a buddy of mine in Puerto Rico, 6 18K PV inverters, 30 batteries, and it worked flawlessly, and he loved it. So that kind of got me, okay, we have to really take a look into this. So now what I like to show on when I meet with a homeowner is, here's what I did on my house, right? Now, I'm extreme. Right? So the first thing I tell my clients is, don't do what I did, right? But if you want to, you can. And so now that the system is up and running and has been running for about 6 weeks, I'm still waiting on my first full month of electricity bill. My last bill that I got was for half of the month with batteries, and I paid under a penny a kilowatt hour for power delivered to my house.
Wow.
Right? And so I like to share that part with people, because if I tell you I had a $30 electric bill, somebody may go, well, my electric bill is only $85. Right? So $50 savings, or $55 savings, who cares? So understanding how much I paid per kilowatt hour is way more important than what my bill was.
Right, versus your total bill.
Right. Yeah. So I am definitely waiting on that new bill. My house is, I could technically take my house off grid, right? Legally, I'm not allowed to.
Sure.
But I have enough solar and batteries to where my electricity bill should be actually negative, which is what the plan is.
It's pretty impressive. I know earlier we talked about this, and this is something that I drive really, really hard, is for people that can't afford to go do what you did or do even larger scale systems, the benefit to EG4 is the modularity factor, right? Where you can slowly build up a system, right? If you needed to start with one inverter and one battery, we can make that happen. And then you want to add 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 batteries, we can do that later as well. And then if you wanted to get into multiple inverter scenarios, we could add the grid boss as well. Then you got the 3 opportunities for inverter inputs. You gain the 4 smart ports. You regain that generator functionality. I mean, there's so much that goes on there. And it allows you that opportunity just as you can financially afford it, or you have the capital set aside to say, hey, I want to get more storage so I can offset that high utility cost or that peak demand rate that most utilities are starting to implement now. Benefit for you out here in Texas, a lot of Texas has free nights and weekend plans, which I know you're taking advantage of, which is great. I foresee that going away, right? At some point, Texas is going to go, all right, now that's enough, right? We're giving away all this power, and then you guys are just dumping it back, to your home or back to them in the afternoons. And they're not benefiting, right? You're benefiting, which is great. But so I think that program at some point will come to an end.
Right. So
what's your thought there? You think that that's true? Or?
So one thing that you may not understand, right, here in Texas is how electricity is traded.
Okay.
Right? We're a deregulated market, right? So we buy our power from a retail electric provider, just like you can go to, 500 different gas stations to buy gas,
sure.
Right?
Yep.
Whatever they are, multiple different gas stations, multiple grocery stores, whatever it happens to be. So we have the same opportunity for electricity, right? I can go buy my power from, probably one of 150 different retail electric providers.
Okay.
Now, the reason why the free night plan, it's not free night and weekend, it's free nights, okay? The reason why those are around is because at nighttime, electricity prices sometimes go negative. All right? So electricity is traded just like the stock market, except it's 24 hours a day.
Interesting.
So in the middle of the night, when the power plants are generating power, the power has to go somewhere. So I don't make money, but my retail electric provider does. So if prices dip to negative, when I'm charging a car, charging my batteries, running my air conditioner, running my washing machine, running a pool pump, whatever it is, the electric company is actually making money because the utilities have to get rid of that power.
Right, they got to send it somewhere.
It has to go somewhere, right? So do I think they're going to go away? I don't know, but while they're around, we have to take advantage of them.
Sure.
Right? So that's my personal approach and my personal opinion.
I can see that.
But again, which is why I went extreme, because I do it for a living. And so I like to test stuff on my house before I tell a homeowner to do it. Right?
It's a great business model. Right?
It's a real world experience.
If it works for you, it's going to work for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, don't do what I did. 49 panels, 4 batteries. I want 2 more. I do have the grid boss. It is generator integrated, right? I'm using SmartPort 1 for my AC coupled. SmartPort 2 is actually keeping my battery and my generator charged. So I'm taking advantage of as much as I can.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it. So I live in the opposite spectrum of that, right? We don't have deregulated energy in Arizona, and we basically get no buybacks, right? So any power that I produce that goes back into the utility, my utility just goes, hey, thanks, I appreciate it.
Right.
So the only way it makes sense for me is to go do what you did, which is what I'm in the process of doing at my house. I did the math on mine. 12 batteries is what it would take for me to go 100% off grid. I don't have $100,000 laying around, as most people don't. So I'm going to start small, 1 inverter, a couple of batteries, and then just build my system over time with that modularity feature that I promote a lot. So what I'm going to do is, as I do my system, I'm going to film it and I'm going to throw it out here on Beyond the Grid and let people see that progression of my system. And then I'll throw my utility bill up there too and go, hey, this is with 1 battery.
Right.
Hey, this is with 2 batteries. This is with 3 inverters and 6 batteries. So that way people can see the cost benefit analysis of doing that. Another thing that happens with us in Arizona is we've already seen a 5% rate increase this year, started January 1. They're talking about an additional 12%. So we're talking about a 17% rate increase in 1 year, possibly more, who knows?
Right.
So if you just take that over 5 years, if they do 20% every 5 years, that means every 5 years your utility bill is going to double.
So I'm going to interrupt you. Yeah. Here, the last 5 years, 29%.
29% increase.
And what people don't understand is the PUC just approved over a $30 billion upgrade to the utility grid.
Which is all going to go to you guys as utility users.
Right.
Wow. I was going to do easy math, but 39% is crazy. But figure 20%, right, for easy math. So every 5 years, your utility bill doubles. In Arizona in the summertime, I pay roughly $800 to $1,000 a month. That's my home, my pool pump, and all my goodies and toys and all that stuff. If I pay $1,000 a month now, in 5 years, it's going to cost me $2,000 a month in the summer.
Right.
That's ridiculous. I can buy a battery for $5,000. So why would I not go start buying those batteries now to help offset that long-term 100% increase over 5 or 6 years that we're definitely going to see? I live really close to TSMC, which is a big microprocessing plant. There's a Microsoft plant near me. There is an Intel plant near me. We're already expecting rolling brownouts by 2027. We're already expecting water shortages. So if you're putting solar on your house, guys, if you're not putting a battery, you're doing it wrong. I mean, that's the best advice I can give anybody out there watching. Put a battery on, start with 1, build up to 2, build up to 3. Look at your utility bill, go on our website, check out our string sizers, our battery sizers. There's a lot of information in there. It can tell you how many batteries, how many inverters you need, and how long you can stay off grid with that power supply. But back to you, Gage. What's kind of your go-to-market for your homes? I know you talked about a little bit. You want to meet their requirements, right? What does a homeowner want? What's their expectations? Do you always try to push EG4 as your primary, or do you kind of leave it up to your homeowner and say, these are the options that we can provide? What would you like to do?
Yeah, so I lead with what I have on my house.
Okay.
Right, first and foremost, because that's what I experience every single day.
Sure.
Right, so when I meet with a homeowner, I have a binder of all of the electricity bills from 9 years of being solar.
Okay.
Right, I had a house that had solar on it. We sold that house, put solar on this house when we built. So I literally have every single electricity bill from the day I went solar.
Okay.
And what's interesting in that is you can see the difference between what the utility rates were buying power at, right? And so those obviously changed. Then it's no longer now net metering here, it's net billing.
Okay.
But for me, I lead with what's on my house. So when I meet with a homeowner, I'm like, here's my solar system, here's my battery system, here's how my house is consuming power, here's how I have it set up. So I'm leading, right, with EG4 because it's what I have. Now, if a homeowner is looking to do a prepaid PPA or something of that nature, which we're waiting for you guys, right?
We're coming.
Right there, then we have a different conversation,
Sure.
right? But again, what I like, to your point earlier, very modular and very easy to add batteries, inverters, and whatever to it.
Absolutely. So I got to ask you, because I have not looked at your system on our monitoring portal. What are you running in self-consumption for the most part, or?
So I run self-consumption during a certain portion of the day.
Okay.
Right. So the panels on my roof obviously produce the power that goes directly into my house. Excess charges batteries. Excess batteries are full. I go to the grid. I am on a free night plan, and I do get buyback. All right. So I'm on that plan for another year and a half or so.
Okay.
And then I have a $1,400 credit with the utility company.
Oh,
right.
wow.
With my retail electric provider. So they're never going to cash me that money. Right. But now I don't have to worry about if my wife turns the oven on. Right.
No,
So
not even a little bit.
before the batteries, right. If I, on that free night plan, if my wife turned the oven on to cook dinner, I can't yell at her for turning the oven on. But that's my biggest energy hog in my house.
Okay.
Right? When that oven turns on, my consumption spikes. And when does the oven turn on? When the sun is down, before 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So now I would cringe, right? Prior I would cringe. Now I don't, because I've got enough batteries now to where she turns that oven on, I don't worry about it.
Yeah, so you're just pulling all this battery power. You're not worried about that utility rate.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have my system set up to where my free night plan starts at 9 p.m. and stops at 7 a.m. So I will run self-consumption mode until 9:15. And then at 9:15, everything flips to the grid, charge my batteries from the grid, run the house, do whatever. And then at 6:45 in the morning, I have my battery set to discharge, because my free night stops at 7, and then the batteries will discharge, and when the sun comes up, it basically takes over.
Sure.
So in the morning, my batteries are typically charged by about 9:30, and then I'm just sending excess power to the grid.
That's incredible. I love it, man. You guys did such an incredible job with this.
One thing, let me interrupt you. One thing that
absolutely.
I really love about what we did is I took the house off grid, right? So I've been doing a couple self-tests just to figure out how it's all gonna work.
Sure.
So when we took the house off grid, I had both air conditioners running, double ovens running, the washing machine running, the dishwasher running, the warming drawer on. I was pulling a ton of power. And then I killed the grid power, right? No change.
Didn't notice anything.
Didn't notice a thing.
Beautiful. I love it.
Everything worked exactly how I was expecting it, right? Which a lot of times expectation and perception and reality are different.
Absolutely.
In this instance, it was great. Now,
Okay.
still trying to figure out my generator settings, right? Because what I want to try and do is get it to where I can see that the generator is powering the house and recharging my batteries, right? That way I'm off grid in an outage situation. I don't want my generator running all night long anymore.
Any problems with the install? Like I know you guys had your team from Solstice come out and do the install. Any pain points? Anything that we should talk about that maybe people out there want to know about that maybe they ran across?
Believe it or not, it was a lot easier than I anticipated, and I think my guys anticipated. So, a lot of installers frown upon this because it's very big in the DIY community. So they're thinking,
right.
Oh, well, if it's DIY, we don't want to mess with it. And prior to the Flex Boss and the Grid Boss, you had all this stuff on the house, right? And people were like, oh my God, and commissioning was kind of a little bit of a nightmare.
Right.
And that's what kind of turned off my electricians previously. But when I'm like, guys, you have to learn how to do this. I'm buying it, you're installing it, get over it.
There you go.
Right? So I think actually the hardest part was wiring everything up. Once it was wired in, the commissioning part, the back-end support of EG4 for us, they're amazing.
I love it.
I can't say enough good things about their support. Now, I think there's only 7 to 9 of them somewhere in that area.
The number changes. I know we just actually hired a bunch more. So I think you're right. I think that's what it was here a month or two ago.
Yeah.
I think now it's over 15, somewhere in that neighborhood. On top of that, we've also got our Signature Solar support team that also supports EG4 with lower end level kind of tier 1 support. And then as you get more technical and have more direct issues, then of course we have our EG4 tech team for like tier 2 and up. But yeah, they've been fantastic. I'm just blown away, man, at the quality of work and how easy it was for you guys to install. You guys, the dongles were online. I checked all that stuff earlier. You were looking at your site, showing kind of your production. Just incredible, man. The only thing, I know we kind of talked about it earlier, and some of our guys are going to laugh when they see this episode. The terminating resistors, we joked around about it when we first launched this battery, and we go, man, I'm just waiting for that first email that says, hey, I accidentally threw away this resistor. And sure enough, man, I woke up this morning and was checking messages, and one of our guys on our technical account management team, Kevin Phillips, actually, who you know,
Yep.
he sent a message and he goes, I got my first email with missing that terminating resistor. And it's like, so we were joking back and forth this morning, like that was just bound to happen. So something like I talked about in another video you guys may have seen, if you guys do have extra terminating resistors, if you do go to the 314 amp hour batteries, save them, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in your conduit box, put them inside the wire cabinet of the inverter. Save them so that way if you do ever choose to do expandability or add those additional batteries, you have them, they're gonna be available. You don't have to call me, you don't have to call tech support, you're just gonna have them in your box. So little tips and tricks for you guys out there in TV land. But Gage, man, I wanna thank you so much. This is absolutely beautiful. Your home is amazing. You've been a great host to us. From BTG and the EG4 team, we wanna thank you for supporting us. And we look forward to seeing some more projects with you and your teams.
Absolutely. No,
Thank
I appreciate
you so much.
it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, Beyond the Grid, check us out, man. We've got some cool stuff coming up, a lot of new press releases. We've got some new products launching. I'll give you a little quick insight. The multi-zone mini splits are coming out. They will be launched very, very soon. Press release already went out, and we'll see you guys next time on Beyond the Grid.